What's up guys, and welcome to today's video. We are back at the LZ compound, and while we've been away in Long Beach, California, Bell Raceworks has been getting the cage all dialed in on the S15. Everyone's working together to get this thing done while we were gone, and our homie Kevin actually picked it up too, brought it back to the compound so Ray was able to get it painted. So I'm about to show you guys not only my beautiful new TIG welded cage from Bell Raceworks, but also a beautiful painted cage by Ray. Don't mind this in here, and look at this. So it's a little bit different than any cage we've ever done in a car before. You'll notice we actually kept the headliner. Sean really pushed me to do that, and I'm glad he did because it looks fantastic. Basically to accomplish that, you know, when they're doing cages, it's dropped down to the ground and then lifted up. So I just asked Bell to rattle can the top gray to make sure that it'll be painted up there since it wouldn't be able to after the fact. But we have a very nice, very tight fit custom cage with intrusion bars. Tried to keep it as minimal as possible. Arthur welded the bar to the actual A-pillar of the car. Not a big gap, no need for gussets. But everything is extremely tight. Tons of headroom, no obnoxious jungle gym bars in back. And the plan was to try to keep the rear part of the cage the least amount intrusive as possible. That way the rear seats can go back in with some minor trimming. So with where it stands right now, it is absolutely beautiful. You'll notice the color is a little bit different than what I've showed you before, and I'll kind of explain that. But as of right now, the goal is to try to start throwing some stuff in the engine bay. I was gonna do the interior, but it's not a priority right now because I actually have a pretty quick timeline. This car needs to get basically put together by the end of the week. So we've got 5, or I should say 4 days, since everyone's taking today, Monday off, to get this car together enough to tune on Monday. That is the deadline, and then the following weekend the car is going to its first ever event at Hyperfest. So it's gonna be a pretty quick turnaround of the build. I know it's been slow with me tinkering with the engine, but now it's crunch time. You'll see these are the 3 iterations of the paints that we've been trying. The first one, I had Ray do like kind of a ghost pearl, but it has like kind of like a teal aqua tinge to it, and it kind of clashed with the green on the car. So then we tried a darker tint, but still it has very like emerald overtones. I think it's my favorite color, but it just doesn't really look great with the color of the car. And then the final one, he switched over to more of a flake than like a ghost pearl or whatever you would call these. And the color matches the engine bay a lot more. There's a little bit of gold in it. I think he laid it on a little bit thicker on the cover, but on the cage, it's gonna look amazing contrasting on the lime green. The cage was designed around keeping the most interior possible, so the entire door card will be able to remain except for the lower half. You'll notice, as you can kind of see in here, that we'll have some clearance issues with the speaker box. I'm gonna see if I can trim that down so I can retain the speaker mount, but I will probably likely need to cut some of the lower section of the door card. One of the first pieces that I want to start putting back in the bay is the whole fuse box and chassis wiring. So before that goes in there, since I know we're gonna start rushing a lot of stuff, I'm gonna spend some time today to clean this up. It's full of dirt, debris, grime from hitting trees and committing crimes. So we're gonna clean it up the best we can with some brake cleaner, maybe some detail spray, and then take off any old corroded electrical tape and then rewrap it with some new fresh stuff. Not that you guys would think this is unimportant, but as I'm going through it, look at that. Found quite a few wires that are already bare like that. Just little shorts and wiring issues waiting to happen from the stance life. I don't know how this car didn't have more electrical issues. Everywhere I turn, I'm just finding more and more shorted wires. All right, Ray's coming by later today to do some bed liner in the fender well, so I wanted to get the fuse box mounted to get all this wiring out of the way. Get it like half wrapped up, not completely done. Look who's here. Killed it on the cage, bro.
Thanks.
So mixing up in the lab, trying to get the right color for the undercoat for the fender wells. What do you think? Do you think it's a dumb idea, or do you think it's gonna look good?
It's gonna look good. I think it's gonna look good.
It's gonna get dirty, but
yeah.
It'll look good when it's clean. So all in here, mind you, the tape is from the engine bay paint, all that's gonna come out, will be green. Sammy, Jimmy's friend, did this on his S13. It looked really cool, so I wanted to try it, just a little something different. All right, mic 2.0 on the lens. Yep. We have the very first prototype PMC SR to 335i ZF 6-speed adapter. So what we're going to do today, we're actually using an engine that's not going to go in the car, and we are going to use it as a mock-up with the transmission that we just got over here, I don't know how many miles this thing has, but it almost looks like they vapor honed it. It looks so good and new. From what I've been told, Johan, you had one of these in your Chaser, right?
Yeah.
It's about the same weight as a CD, so it's not like the E36ZF that's a lot lighter and more compact. But the package and overall the shifter is what I'm the most stoked about, because CDs, I hate every shifter on the CD. I've had nothing but issues. So what we're gonna do is bolt it up. We have a clutch coming from Clutch Masters midweek. So this will just basically be mock-up to get a drive shaft measurement, just send a Drive Shaft Pro, which is doing us a mega solid, and they're actually going to be able to make me a drive shaft with the tripod yoke like the factory BMW stuff, so we can retain the factory Guibo. This one has a little tear in it, so I'm gonna end up replacing it. But this is the ultimate clutch delay valve, I should say, for the transmission, because the biggest weak point of at least the E36ZFs, I'm not sure about these, is the impact from the jerk or the jolt of a clutch kick, and this just dampens that a lot, so that should hopefully help it.
Walk away for 5 seconds.
Wait, is it in focus? Let me look.
I mean, it's been pretty solid.
Yeah. No, he's doing a great job.
Man, son.
Okay. Mike's
Keep
actually
it up.
mad
I'll start
right
working
now.
on the S15.
Yeah.
Yo,
hey,
there
Mike,
you
can
go.
you fit that adapter plate for me real quick?
I got you.
So, I'm pumped. It's really cool that PMC was able to make us a custom plate, and if all works as well as we expect it to, it should be something that we can hopefully bring to market through Drift HQ.
Yep. So people might get confused because the 6-speed from the 46 are get tracks.
Okay, got it.
So
they're slightly different.
yeah.
This is a bad
Bad.
Wait.
Pete.
Yeah, what's wrong with that, Johan?
Yeah, oh yeah, Johan's gonna edit too.
Oh yeah, now you're gonna edit too. You're gonna hate that.
We're not
You
gonna
gotta
edit
teach me
it,
that, son.
Sorry, there's still a little California in me. Hi. So, previous owners, internet got a hold of this thing, and to clear the low boy lifestyle and to do all this, they like tried and they kind of did it, but it wasn't 100%. What's so funny, Sean? And we got this guy in the background trying to make me nervous on camera. It won't happen. The correct way to do this is to weld it all up, so that way no air or smoke or whatever can get inside, as well as moisture. So what we're going to do is basically cut out this whole section and then redo it with sheet metal. So we'll have to cut it out, bend it up, shape it, put it in, and then weld it in. That way it's sealed correctly, and that way we won't have any problems in the future.
Getting all kitted out with radium bits. I remember I was super hyped when this first came out. I don't know if they make one for an S13 now. I think they do at this point. I remember having to use the real ghetto like bulkhead way on my S13, and I wanted a nice pretty top hat, but they only made them for like GTRs and shit because no one wanted these old stinky 240s. But anyway, this is a beautiful kit that will allow us to run 2 pumps in tank. However, we'll just be running 1 single DW400 since that's all we'll be needing. But this is pretty much their full kit for the fuel system for an S chassis, specifically an S14. See, it comes with a fuel filter. It's got their nice little fittings. These brackets, which I love. Unfortunately, I don't know how many of these we'll be able to use since my frame rail is pretty twisted on that side. But you can see it has rooms for the stock lines. And then in this case, I believe it's designed around a -8 and a -6 line to clamp. So they sell a full kit that comes with push lock fittings and fuel hose, which is definitely the most cost efficient way of doing it. However, I happen to have a bunch of vibrant line laying around, so I'm going to do vibrant lines instead. But this is a really cool option, and I'm probably gonna end up using this on that gray car over there. And since I plan on board sliding this car a lot, jumping overpasses, I'm gonna go with the Vibrant line on it. Old faithful DW400 right here. Never let me down, making steam. Believe it or not, just one of these powers the E36, powers the Chaser, powers, I think, my Evo.
Powers the house?
No, it doesn't power my house. It powers my S13, just one. Ethanol. I think the most we've ever run on one of these, what was the E36 up to, like 580, 600?
600.
On ethanol, on one single in-tank pump. Your dual pump. You don't need that unless you're making a lot more power.
Your Vera?
The Barra we're running too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Skyline's running too?
yeah, those are big.
Big.
This is just a normal size.
Nothing.
I'm reaching down. And I
Yep.
found a pump.
Oh damn, she's got a pump in her.
Oh yeah.
Pump, pump, pump.
Oh wow, look at that. Hey Marco, I got a fuel pump for sale. Yeah.
Now look at that, 340 LPH, 415 LPH.
Got the whole assembly fit up. If anybody is wondering how the WD400 fits in here, fits pretty well. Comes with the clamps. The pump comes with the clamps. You put it on, then we wrench DT connectors on here to here. I know it's weird, 2 connectors, but it needs a long harness for it. The radium hanger came with the flexible hose. Clamps there. Now I'm adding this connector to the tank for the fuel sending unit, which then connects to this connector, which is the sensor for the level sensor, which is this tube. And once we put it in, we'll do the rest of the connections in the car. That'll be it.
A few moments later.
Fire! On fire! I'm on fire! I'm on big fire! Fire! Garza, still on fire! No! Fire! Fire! We're on fire! No! Where's Adam and Mike and you? Ah! The golf cart! The golf cart!
This is how to make a drive better right here. You know, the best S chassis ever. No, none of that.
You want the best chassis ever, then you just switch to the East chassis.
Yeah, we should put the S15 front end on the E36.
Yeah.
Then it would drive good.
I don't know, you might curse it.
Yeah, no. So I feel like I did a kind of a bad job in the beginning of this video explaining why the timeline for this car is the way that it is. Basically, the only window that I have where this car can get tuned is Monday. So the goal is to hopefully get it together at least mechanically by the weekend. That way there's some time if I gotta sort through some stuff on the weekend or get some last minute parts in. Then once it's mechanically tuned on Monday, then it'll just kind of be like last minute bolting on panels, getting it painted by Ray here, and then it should be for Hyperfest. But it's been really cool kind of tag teaming with the crew. See, Sean's been killing it on the interior, putting all the dash stuff back together. Marco welding stuff, Johan doing the fuel system, and it's fun. It's like FD, but with way less stress and just putting together a simple seat time car that is gonna come out really cool. I don't know if we talked about the fender liner yet. It's not completely done. The color's not perfect. It's gonna get darker anyway as it gets dirtier, but we ran out of the actual spray. And it is, everyone was saying to use a specific like bed liner. It's literally the stuff that you guys said. It's a tinnable bed liner, but we didn't have enough, so we're gonna make some more and lay some more on before we assemble the whole front end. And then when Marco's done doing the rear end, we can do that too. And then the inside of the fender wells will be all nice and pretty. A lot of parts, a lot of other interesting stuff, a lot of like kind of big Drift HQ announcements that you guys will hear in the next video. But this is just kind of a short one, getting back in the swing of things after FD. We're gonna have lots of S15 build content coming soon. Thank you.
They like tried and they kind of did it, but it wasn't 100%. Also got funny fun. We got this guy in the background. Trying to make me nervous on camera, it won't happen.